Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Blue Note Lounge. We have a very special guest this evening. Welcome to the stage, CyberSea.
Oh, what's up, everybody? This is Blue Toshi, and we are live in the Blue Node Lounge. Welcome, everybody. So today we have an awesome show. Of course, Gerard and I always make the mistake. We talked to CyberSea for like an hour, and then we're like, oh, wait, we should probably record and actually film some of this stuff. So we've had a great conversation, but Gerard is always, I think it's like your 28th time on the show. So Gerard, president of Vivid, Captain Salami, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much. Always a pleasure. Very excited to talk with CyberSea today, creator of the best collection out there, Deus Ex Machina.
Don't piss off your other artists. But yeah, it is pretty awesome.
I always say that. It's always the best. It's always the best.
Yeah, but if it's always the best, then you're just one of those KOL bullshitters. But it is pretty awesome. I guess in this case, like it's
I'm
probably
shilling my
right there.
bags.
All right.
Exactly.
Well, CyberSea, welcome. Thanks for CyberSea got to walk into Gerard and I talking like shop about how to set up scenes in this program. He's like, what the fuck are they talking about? Those two idiots. Like, save that for your own time. But CyberSea, welcome to the show. Love your art. I've been following you for a while. Love what you're doing. I know you got a lot of stuff coming out, but today we're going to talk just about you, get to know you, and obviously talk about, like Gerard said, one of my favorite collections, Deus Ex Machina. So welcome to the show, dude.
GM, really happy and excited to be here finally. I was watching your shows for a while already, and happy to finally join and talk with you on live.
Yeah. No, I'm excited too. And the beginning of the show, everybody, is where we stall, where we all are looking at our phones. We're trying to post in different places because with audio chats, with Spaces, it's easy to get that network effect of people coming in. But video, as you guys know, it makes it a little tougher. So, you already posted in AOB, good. So I don't have to do anything now.
Yeah.
So CyberSea, welcome. Like, how is Deus Ex your first collection in Ordinals? Oh, and turn the volume down on your phone. Whoever's got that on. Yeah.
It's not me.
No, it's Gerard. It's always Gerard, dude. He always fucks stuff up.
Typical Gerard.
Exactly.
Yeah, it was my first Ordinal collection. It was really, I think, exciting debut. I come to Vivid, and at least from my perspective right now, I found the best studio to really go with this collection. As I said, it was my first one on Ordinals. I was not really aware how this ecosystem is working right now, because it was February of last year. And I think it goes pretty well. And also I'm happy that I did join Vivid and work with these guys, even with Gerard, for almost a year right now.
Yeah. God, so Deus Ex came out, so that was a year ago? Early 24. Like for generative art, that's pretty early, in my opinion.
It was just after the golden ratio. It was super expected. It was a crazy moment at the time, I remember.
Yeah, it was between golden ratio and Floraform. It was like exactly. Week before Floraforms.
Okay, so with all the Vivid collections now, especially the ones that are kind of canonized, like the mainstream ones, so you were like in the first 3, 4, or 5 then, right? Definitely on the earlier side.
I guess it was third, if you not count the Yeah,
Sats.
SATs.
Yeah, exactly.
Because it was not typical gen art as you inscribed the JPEGs there. It's not a coded one, the typical one.
Right.
Exactly. I remember we went with the team. We're like, okay, we need to find new artists that want to release on Ordinals. At the time, believe it or not, it was super difficult to find artists to release on Ordinals. We already worked with Medusa, and yeah, CyberSea came in and was like, I want to release something on Ordinals, but I want to do it different. I want to do something unique here. And he was like, I want to connect it to the Bitcoin data. We're like, okay, let's go, let's do that. That's interesting. And yeah, we started working on that.
Nice. Yeah. So
Yeah,
are you a coder by trade? Like what were you a coder or an artist? Like where are your roots?
I'm a coder. I have like 15 or even more years of experience as a programmer and software architect right now. I also have a background in game programming. I finished my studies in game programming. And yeah, so I not have typical artist background, but I always do it as some kind of my hobby. So yeah, when I first discovered generative art, I have like this moment of revelation that this is the art that I can be really really good at, because yeah, I was a really good programmer, and I guess I am.
Nice.
And
You don't have to be
yeah,
humble. Yeah,
this,
you're of course you're a good coder. But that's cool. Like, so did you, when you were making games and in your past life before you started making art, did you consider yourself an artist, or you were like, no, I'm a good coder, I'm a good game designer, but you didn't even really, that word didn't enter your vernacular?
honestly, I also always do some art by hand. I was painting like plastic miniatures with the brushes, airbrushes, and so on. I even still have it on my desk right now, just with me, as always, because it's perfect thing to relieve the stress and so on. So yeah, art was always there, but I never think about it in commercial terms, that I can actually sell my art or live from my art. It was like something that I love, but never think of it as a job that I can actually do and live from it.
Do you do this full time now?
Basically, yes, after Deus Ex, it's I don't know, 80% or 90% of my work. I do some, some side projects that just to feel safe if market is fluctuating like crazy. So I not starve, but yeah, basically this is main thing that I'm focused on right now.
Does that make it like when you mentally transition to full time art? Because obviously I assume there's a pretty good market for like video game designers. Like you've got very marketable skills. Like when you go full time art, does that make it more stressful? Like you have to keep producing and keep marketing and keep kind of like getting stuff out there, or no, you've kind of taken it kind of chill because Deus Ex was a successful launch.
Honestly, this is why I'm still have some side jobs that I'm also working on to have this, not so stressful life, so I can release really when I think that my drop is ready. Especially that I usually work for a quite long time for a drop, and for example, I not released anything since Deus Ex Machina, and it's a year right now, and I was for a year working on next drop. And yeah, I think it's also some kind of unique thing in my craft that I always try to start from scratch. not reuse the algorithms that I have. Of course, I have some libraries and so on, but if you go from any drop that I made, it's totally different than the other ones, but still have, at least from my perspective, some common, trend, common ideas behind, but you can, when you look at it, you see that I put the work into the new one and not just copy paste it from the previous one.
So you like to start with a
Right.
blank canvas from scratch, not kind of iterate or build on. You almost like have a complete thought with one art collection and you're like, I want to do something. It's not that it's even entirely different. It's just you want to have a whole new fresh start on something to see where it will go. Is that fair?
You know, it's not exactly this. The important part is that for me, art is a story, and I just think what story I want to tell. And as I said, the technical part is not so problematic for me because I have a lot of background in that. And I just, need to find something that I really want that inspire me, and then I follow it and just create the algorithms that really work for the idea that I have. Like, for example, in case of Deus Ex, it was showing Bitcoin as a Steam machine, because it's the oldest blockchain, the mother chain, and so on. It have the blocks that is confirming for 10 or even more minutes, and so on. So in my imagination, it's like a old steam machine that is working slowly but steady. And I really followed my imagination in these drops and try to show it to people.
Yeah, no, this is super cool. Like I love the whole steam machine, the steampunk vibe of the whole thing. Is this art here? Was this static piece of art at the top? Like, was that kind of where you started? Was that kind of your inspiration before you started?
Honestly, I usually try to build some inspiration using, I don't know, even AI tools where I put some, I don't know, something to the prompt and try to find the way that I want to show my art and my idea. And it can be a book, it can be, I don't know, googling for some inspiration, it can be talking with some AI bots and so on. This one is actually the one that I created with AI when I was thinking how to build the actual machine. In fact, in the case of Deus Ex, it's I think that people are really missing the most important part about Deus Ex Machina, or maybe the most complicated part that, at least for me, because everyone is focusing that it's connected to the Bitcoin blockchain and so on. And in fact, connecting to the Bitcoin blockchain was the easiest part for me to do in this drop. The
Huh.
complicated part was actually creating working machine. Just imagine if you, because most of the generative art is really abstract, and
Right.
here you need into some mathematical formula create the actual gear that is connected to other gear that they are rotating in that it actually work. You have to create cylinders with these connectors that are working with the gears. And it's not the usual equation that you find in Google.
Interesting. So this
If you
whole picture here, like this actually is like a working Rube Goldberg steampunk machine. Like the gears are turning each other, bigger wheels, smaller wheels obviously move way faster.
Exactly.
No kidding.
Exactly.
It was if you see for example, I done it in the way that you have the smaller teeth in the gear on the higher layers, because I made a layer of these gears and they are actually connected. So in fact, if you have such machine, build it physically and to move one gear, it will be exactly behaving like in my piece. It's actually working engine, you know.
So you had to create the engine before all the 400 output pieces.
Oh yeah.
Wow. So you're saying
Yeah.
the engine is the secret sauce, basically. Like, that's crazy.
Yeah, honestly, I was analyzing real Stirling engine. You maybe see it on some. You can even buy it on AliExpress or anywhere, and that connect gears and create like electricity and so on. And this is working like that in exactly the same way. Every connection, every gear, every teeth is. Working together, and there is no, like they are just rotating. No, one is rotating the other one, then another one, and then you have one gear that have another gear on it, and it's also, working as it should. So this gear on top is moved by the gear on bottom, and it's moving the next layer. And that was the crazy part, in fact, in the designing this collection.
Ah, man, this is so cool. It's like every time you dig into a piece, you think you know it, and you're like, just the work that went behind it to make the engine, to make the gears. Because if you don't have the basic engine right, like this thing falls apart fast, right? I mean, just to like,
Yeah,
that's crazy. Like when you have the engine and you're moving gears around, do you have to like then resize the little cogs or in the teeth, or do the teeth resize based on ones you're trying to connect to?
it's working like this, that you first starting with one gear, and this is in fact the composition trait where the starting gear is placed, because it really affects how the whole machine looks
Mm.
at the end.
Where's
And
the main gear in this one? Is it this one or is it this big or is
it's
it
the central one. So in the middle of the screen is the one which start everything.
is it this one?
No.
Oh, you're saying
Uh,
it's basically it's tucked back there. You can't even really see it. So it's somewhere in here.
Yeah, it's totally in the middle of this piece, because that one have central composition. Uh, it may be easier to watch if you go to the one with the big, whole page Deus Ex Machina that I sent you also,
Okay. To
because
which
this is
page?
it's quite small.
This one?
Yeah, that one. Yeah. Here you can see that the central one is the totally in the center. It will be easier on this example to explain it. Oh,
Oh,
right
a
now
block.
the block is,
Sweet.
yeah.
So what? This is perfect because I know we're transitioning that anyway. So what's happening right now? We have Steam coming in because this is all connected to the blockchain, correct? This is all connected to
Yeah.
data, and each block. So when something happens on the block, does Steam come up right when a block comes?
Yeah, exactly. So it working like this, that when the block is mine, then the steam goes out and all gears are slowing down. And after that, they slowly going faster until the next block is mined. Why? Because this is exactly how I see Bitcoin working. You know, when the block is mine, you have all the transaction is going out into the blockchain. So this is the steam that is going into the blockchain, and after that the steam, so the transaction is slowly going into the pipes and fill the whole thing, and it is powering the machine, so the gears are going faster and faster and faster until the next block is mined. So we have this next release. This is basically the story that I imagined when I was designing it.
No kidding. So you're saying hooking in with the blockchain part, and I'm sure Vivid helped with that too, was the easier part. You're saying creating this engine was by far the hardest part of this project.
Yeah, definitely. Of course, connecting to the blockchain was something really cool because we probably was the first one that done it. At least this is what I know for now. Maybe someone,
Is that true?
appeared that
we never
and
found
say he was
anyone else.
the person.
So it's this
But,
is the
we-
first collection that was reading some form from the blocks, something from the blocks to change behavior
I
of the
will-
art.
In generative art,
I will-
I'm almost sure. Yeah, we don't know
I will
about
tell you
maybe.
funny story that I guess is quite good proof of it with the Magic Eden, because Magic Eden have a bug, that make impossible to connect to the blockchain, and they fix it for Deus Ex Machina.
Did they
I will
really?
remember this moment. Oh, I will remember this moment all my life. We inscribed it, we minted, etc. And CyberSea panicking, sending us messages like, "Oh my God, something went wrong, guys! No, it's not connected. It's not connected." And I was like, "What the fuck? What happened?" We tested everything,
What
and then
the
we go
fuck?
to Ordinals.com. It works, but yeah, on Magic Eden at that time, they were mirroring Ordinals.com in a different way. And we still have bugs on Magic Eden, but yeah, they were mirroring Ordinals.com in a different way, and they had to change it for us. So thanks God that people weren't fighting at that time. But yeah,
It
was
was
a crazy
before
moment.
release. We have still 2 days, but it was
Yeah.
really exciting 2 days when I was waiting if they fix it or not before our release. But
I
yeah,
don't
I think
understand
this
how
is
Magic Eden still work with us. We broke Magic Eden with Deus Ex Machina. We broke Magic Eden with Flora Forms. We broke Magic Eden again with Kinetics, Light Waves. They're like, guys, can you just stop doing crazy stuff? Do normal shit, please.
Yeah, no, that's kind of cool though. Again, Magic Eden it's where most purchases happen now. I bet it's like 98, 99%, which in some ways is good. In some ways is kind of unfortunate, right? But it's cool that you're pushing the limits and you're breaking it. And it's cool that they're like, "Ooh, that's interesting." And they fix it. So now art from their listings can connect to the blockchain.
Yeah, more than connecting is just mirroring well Ordinals.com, because they are only doing that. The thing is like how often they update or how often they take the information. That was the problem. But yeah, they were like, Magic Eden is such a great team, always been super reactive. I remember that moment. We sent that and they're like, "Okay, no worries, bam, bam, bam." A few messages later, "Okay, it's fixed, thank you." And yeah, it was always been a pleasure, to be honest.
Good. Yeah. I mean, it's they definitely have the best user experience. And that's, I think, why when they came in, all the ones that were trying kind of got pushed to the wayside. So I'm glad they're because obviously if you do something new, you can't blame them for not having it yet, because they're like, "Well, we got to do video. We got to do pings, we got to do SVGs." And then they're like, "You got to connect to the blockchain." They're like, "Yes, we do." I mean, it in hindsight, obviously it makes total sense, but until someone gives them their first example, how are they going to know? Even you need that first one just to figure out how to freaking do it. You know what I mean? Yeah. That's cool. It's so funny, Gerard. Every time we're on a show, it's like, and this was the first to do this, but that's a huge one. Like the first, for me, generative art that does morph and change with the blockchain. Like, to me, that not that it's okay if you don't do that, but the art that does, where it's suited to me, is some of the best and coolest generative art in the blockchain, because I love the concept of something evolving throughout my entire lifetime and beyond, you know?
Yeah, in fact, Deus Ex have another evolution part that
was waiting for
make all the outputs really, random, not curated. Because I don't know if you know that, but Deus Ex evolved when halving happened, and on each halving, it changed itself. So, for example, on the halving in April, it was changed in the way that you see, for example, the piece that we were looking at a few moments ago, it have few layers of gear, yes? And on the halving, the another layer of gears appear because in my imagination the complexity of the blockchain rise with the halving, because there is smaller miners rewards and so on, and because of that you need to use more hash rate to mine something to be affordable and so on. So yeah, it's evolved in each halving, changing its complexity of the piece.
Wow. So this, like looking at this one right here, because this one is live connected to the blockchain, like ord dash mirror .magiceden.dev is this the best place to truly see what's happening here?
Yeah, it shows actual state of it. It's exactly the same all on, I don't know, ord.io or any other
Ordinals.
working.
It
Ordinals.
is or is not.
It is.
Okay,
Yeah,
so everybody's adopted well to integrating collections that actually integrate with the blockchain. So just so I get it, and I'm staring at this, obviously we're post whatever it is, the fourth halving now, or fifth, whatever we're in. What would this piece have looked like before the halving? How is it different?
It have one layer of gears less and one layer of because it's layered piece. So you see that, for example, in the background there are gears that are moving and they look almost like shades. Yes.
Yeah, they almost look like in a video game. They're like the back. That's like it's like a video animation, like it's the fake part of the scene, right? It's like the cityscape.
Yeah, and before the halving, they were closer because there was one layer less, so they were more visible. They have less fog on them and so on. So, and also there was no such many, gears here and so many pipes because one layer goes out. And now it was added.
No shit. So the front ones I see here, like, is there a way to see
the
this
top
without
one
this?
was not existing.
So this middle one wasn't. These front guys weren't even there. How? So this is all. And you made an important point. This whole scene is algorithmically generated. So even you knew another layer was coming, but the halving, I assume you woke up all bright-eyed and bushy-tailed like, what are these going to look like? Right?
Yeah, exactly. I was going through whole collection to check how it looks and if something crazy not happened there,
Like, please don't have a bug. Please don't have a bug.
Exactly.
It totally F's it up. It's like the goblins where they're like, hey, fuck you, we're going to a different smart contract, so your art sucks and screw you, No, man, so that must have been nerve-wracking. So when you saw the first one, I assume you were like, oh my God, this is so awesome. Like, I'm the best.
I was testing it before, how this evolution will work. It's not like I go totally crazy, but I was, of course, not testing all 400 pieces and try to simulate the block of halving. It was like, I was I was quite sure that it will work, but I was not sure how the final output will look like. Maybe
Got
that
it.
way.
No, that's so cool. So all of these pieces basically, it's too bad Magic Eden, like they completely puke, because I want to look at a couple of different ones. Because I love the, go figure, but the, whatever the fuck that means. Come on, man.
I even have somewhere on my hard drive the pieces before the halving, but I'm not sure how to, send it to you or show it.
That's a good question. Post it, DM me maybe an X, and I'll snag the link, or Gerard can do it too.
I'll try to find
send
some.
you the file.
Yeah.
I have file of the one that you were showing a second ago. I will send it maybe on X to Gerard.
Yeah.
1 second. Where is Gerard? Salami.
Okay. So how do you get from a Magic Eden? They're like, this is an off-chain resolution. I used to be able to click this and go into it. Now where do I have to go to see it?
Yeah, that's a problem that we have. We haven't solved it yet. We would like to. That's always a problem with every marketplace, to show all the pieces animated, and here it's even harder because it's connected to Bitcoin. But yeah, you need to go down to the content, and you will see the actual
link.
artwork. Yeah.
Where do I go?
Here. Just
a bit lower.
Yeah. Here.
And here you have content and link.
Okay, and this is where I'm going. Why don't they, like, here's a thought. Why don't you just link this link to the picture? Or then it would be an exception, and they'd have to do that for everybody, type of thing. All right, let's do the animation. This one I like. Oh, so this one has smaller gears. So this one's super fast.
Yeah, because when you have smaller gears, they are rotating in a faster way. It's like in real engines.
Plus the block is a little more advanced now. So the more time a block takes to mine, the faster it goes.
Oh, interesting. Because I see the steam. Does that mean, is this one just have more steam, or that means a block probably just passed? Or no, because they're going fast, we're probably at the end of this block.
We can't know the end. So the solution was just to increase the speed until
it's mined.
Oh, I like that. So if you have one of your infamous 48-minute blocks, like, are they
it's so funny.
Oh, so they're flying.
It's going crazy fast.
I think that's super cool, though, because every block, like if you're displaying this on a nice vertical, screen, like every block is entirely different, and you might not see that insanely fast 36-minute block very often, but when you do, it's like, oh, sweet, this is so cool.
Yeah. And for us, it's funny because when you inscribe, you usually look at the blocks. You're like, okay, when's the transaction coming? So I know that when I'm waiting for a block, usually what I do is like pick a random Deus Ex Machina. I'm just looking at it and like, okay, now the transaction is in, instead of looking at the mempool.
I like that. Like, I love that, because you could have a piece of art in your house and people are like asking about Bitcoin. You'd be like, actually, a new block just went. And they're like, how would you know? But look at the steam. They're like, what are you talking about? Be like, well, do you have 4 hours? Let me explain. First, Bitcoin is not destroying the environment. And then 2 hours later, you're like, so yes, it's not pure evil. And now let's talk about art. They're like, there's art on Bitcoin? Be like, sit down, get another cup of tea. Let's go. This is so cool. I love these colors, by the way. Let me have to get this one if somebody doesn't beat me to it. But that one.
By the way, CyberSea's, do you remember this famous piece that we loved, the devil piece?
The face one.
Yeah, but it has changed. The grail.
Yeah, you have it still in your vault, probably.
Oh, okay, so I can find it now. I'll check it. There was this piece that really forms a face, and we're like, oh my god, the Grail. But we're always worried about it changing. We'll see.
But
I,
after
Dude,
next
give
3
me
years,
that
it
one. I
will
want that one.
return to the face, so it will be
yeah.
Grail again.
What's happening to Magic Eden? It doesn't work.
Yeah, it's down for me too. They're puking today, so let's just not bother with them. So, oh, cool. You actually have this. So wait. So now, I mean, it's like we've touched two of the things. I guess one question I would have: what elements of the blockchain are you tapping into? And I'm actually kind of curious on a bigger question: how many elements can be tapped into?
Honestly, in this collection in Deus Ex Machina, it wasn't so complex. It was just, in fact, the time of the block that is controlling almost everything, and also the number of block that is using to calculate the halvings and evolution of the pieces. But I really go deeper into much more traits in the next collection that I was working on. But this is for different discussion. But here I focus on time because it was just fitting the story now. And
So block number and what was the first one?
Timestamp of the block.
And
so the moment of confirmation of block, the exact timestamp of it.
Got it. So you've got timestamp and that's like a UTC. Is that built in? I assume that timestamp is built into Ord and not the actual Bitcoin blockchain, or no? It's Bitcoin has, so it literally has like a Greenwich clock that it has a timestamp of.
Yeah, it's a typical, programming timestamp that is taking the time from this 972 year or something like this, which just count the milliseconds.
Damn.
So you got this number and you use it. It's the timestamp that programmer use.
I don't remember if we set up a limit, in speed, or it can go like, because imagine one day we have like
and
a
go
2 hour
anywhere.
Oh my god! If one day we have
anywhere.
like a 2 hour block, Deus Ex Machina is broken on most devices.
If sorry, a what block? And like an hour?
Imagine if one day we have a 2 hour block, Deus Ex Machina will be so crazy. Yeah, that I think that it wouldn't work on all devices.
It will work, but the movement will be so fast that it will almost look like it's not moving at all. I was observing such things like once, and it only show that the texture is rotating, but the gears was and the teeth was going so fast that they look like they are almost not moving.
Oh my god, I love it. That's so cool. So the timestamp though, you can, and it's dated, and I know these are one-on-one questions, but the I think it's good for the audience to know. So this timestamp alone has not only the time but the date in the year, correct? It does everything.
It's just the number of milliseconds that come from some specific date that programmer years ago agree that it's the beginning date. So this is the programming timestamp.
So you can't interpret. So you couldn't for Christmas like put a Christmas hat in the middle, or you could, but you'd have to figure it out programmatically to infinity. So it's not.
I could. Yeah, it's possible to do it.
It is. Okay. So it is a timestamp, but you're saying it's a very kind of arcane one based on this certain first point. So you then have to be like, okay, well, 86 quadrillion milliseconds is Christmas 2025 or something like that.
Yeah, exactly like this.
Okay. And then block number obviously is what it is. And how does it know? when a new block is, because the timestamp will trigger the exact moment when a new block happens?
We get each block have this timestamp when it's mined into the ordinals data, so you can just use it. It's just inscribed into the block.
Very cool.
Itself.
And you're saying, and we won't go that, we'll just tease it for now, but you're saying with your new collection, you're tapping into way more elements of the blockchain because it's more apropos for this new collection. Like, how many different things are there that are always changing and evolving in Bitcoin itself that you can tap into for information? Is there like 20 or 30, or no, there's like 6 or 7?
It's like, I think, like maybe 15 or something like this. All the traits. In fact, a few days ago was added another one that you can actually use the transaction data, which is, open some new exciting doors.
And sorry, what is it? You can use what now?
Transaction data from specific transaction that you put into.
Like, give me, and I'm not going to force you to play your hand, but give me an example, like a transaction of something selling or something in your wallet. Like, what kind of transaction?
Yeah, for example, sending Bitcoin from one wallet to another, or selling, or whatever. And then you got... I will tell you exactly because I have it in
I'm
my...
trying to find it here.
Yeah.
Endpoints, you have block hash, block 8, block time. I've got the children from the inscriptions. You can check all that.
Yes.
Will you send that to me?
Parents, I think I'm just looking at maybe the best.
Even if it's a screenshot, just send it to me. I like it. Even beyond this show, I've always been super curious. So you're saying there's like 15. When did this 16th or whatever number we're on now, when did the transaction data get added? Because it's not like there's been was that in a Bitcoin soft fork, or no, that's from Ord?
I just sent you a link.
The question exactly.
Is it? But it's through Bitcoin. It's not through.
It's the recursive endpoint of. It's in fact the Ord is asking the Bitcoin on-chain data to take this, and Bitcoin have more data that right now Ordinals is taking. And not every endpoint that you can use on Bitcoin are possible to use in Ordinals, but Casey is slowly adding another one. This is the ones that we can use right now. And as I said a few days ago, this the last one just was released with a new version.
Oh, with 0.22 that just came out. Jordan, I love his idea of like grabbing a coder and just like, he's like, let's just go through the Ord code. I'm like, oh, hell yeah. But I almost need someone who could read it better than me. But this is so cool. And the more you learn, the more you dig, the more you appreciate, obviously, Casey, Raph and the whole team and what they did. Cause it sounds like CyberSea for you as an artist, like, it's just one more shovel in the sandbox you get to play with to build your sandcastle. Like, this is so cool.
Yeah, it's crazy cool, honestly, because Ordinals and what Casey built here give us a lot of opportunity to, really connect our art to the blockchain. And this is crazy important for me because if you connect art to the blockchain, because I always ask myself a question, why actually you want to put your art into the blockchain? And if it's, a JPEG and so on, is it because the liquidity is on the blockchain? Is it because you can sell it then, or it's because of provenance that you can prove that it's your artwork and you in fact inscribe it, and that's all. And here is the answer: because this artwork, like Deus Ex Machina, cannot exist anywhere else, because it's just, so deeply put into the blockchain that it's impossible to experience this art without a blockchain. And for me, it's the new form of art that is created by things like that. I I guess the precursor of it was on Ethereum, like mud castles or geysers or stuff like that. That they really incorporate the smart contracts to do some crazy, crazy
Yeah.
things. And here we can do it. Something like this, but using the Bitcoin with totally different tooling than they have. So it's like discovering everything once again in totally different way, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, God, it's so incredible. Like, if for anyone who's newer to Ordinals, who came over from Ethereum or maybe even Solana, like, this is what gets people so excited, because there's so many ways, with recursion and endpoints, like you said, and just parent child, and which we talked about yesterday. If you haven't seen that show, check that out. But there's so many ways to do cool art. Like, Gerard, I gotta imagine, like, with Vivid and all the artists that you work with and talk with, you're like, like, you're almost like, I have 400,000 ideas. How do we, how do you even keep all this in a box? You know what I mean?
Yeah. We just need more collectors. If we have more collectors on the space, we will do some more crazy shit.
Yeah. Right now it's just like Blue, Brissy, Rock,
Yeah.
whoever, buy more, buy 10, buy 20. But like, it's just so funny, because we're all like, I was talking to Stephen Morris this morning, such a great guy. We just had an offline conversation, just kind of get to know each other. But we're all just like in this space, like, don't you see, man, like how incredible it is, and how like beautiful it is, and how eternal it is. And you have all these choices to make. Like, maybe we save this for another show with Casey, but like, each of these things, obviously there's a lot of, recursion where you can build bigger images or scenes or whatever through recursion, right? But there's a whole lot more going on here as well. Like, I can't wait to hear. So your new collection, you're saying you're adding even more endpoint.
He's playing with all the endpoints.
Yeah.
CyberSea has tried it all.
So CyberSea,
Yeah,
you're like so you're like the endpoint master. Like, I feel like different artists, like, their shiny object is something different, but I feel like you like endpoints are really cool and important, because you're like, I want it to be living, breathing on the blockchain, and this is how I do it.
CyberSea doesn't celebrate
Yeah.
birthdays. Now it's like a new endpoint. Let's go party. That's his life.
Yeah, honestly, I really go through all of these endpoints and try to, look for some inspirations and look what tools I have here. And what is, I guess, crazy cool is that if you go even to the GitHub, you can see what they are working on right now and which endpoint will be added in future. So you even can, predict what will be added in a few months and have it in mind. So yeah, it's a lot of possibilities that you have to do something, interesting. Because people sometimes think that the generative art is boring, and it's not. We have so many things to play with and so many algorithms that can be used and that no one else used before. And it's just crazy.
I don't know who finds it boring, but if you find it boring, they probably just like can't look into it. Maybe, because some people, when I was talking to Steven this morning, like
I find sometimes it's boring when I see, for example, some algorithm that someone used for 100 times the same thing. And it's just, come on, there is thousands of algorithms that you can use and create some new. And honestly, I can say that like 60 or 70% of collection in generative art are utilizing the same algorithms on the same and all over again.
I don't want you to name names or anything, but like what no, not people, but like what algorithms are getting over you? Are we just talking P5JS, like, or
No,
are we
that's a library,
like,
but
for example,
flow
flow
fields,
fields.
for example. Exactly.
Flow
What
fields
is?
is really flow fields, the one that use Fidenza for
If you
the
think of
first time,
Fidenza.
Yeah.
But that's the thing. Like there are some categories, or whatever you want to call them, like flow fields that artists use. But I also invite artists. Sometimes artists just, as CyberSea's said at the beginning, maybe use over and over again the same algorithm. So maybe there is one artwork, and they use 80% of the same code to create a new one. It's like, okay, a derivative, a copy of a copy of a copy.
Okay.
But then it gets a little bit boring. But I understand, because as an artist, you also want to have your own style.
Right.
And so recursive master is already taken. Endpoint master is already taken. CyberSea's, like, that's his path. So it's also hard to find your own style without using again and again the same code. So I understand that, but I invite artists also to explore a little bit. There are so many things that you can do, and it's okay. Like even if CyberSea's is the endpoint master, just experiment with it again. He doesn't have the
he doesn't have a patent on it, is what you're saying.
Exactly.
You're like,
come on, a lot of people experimented already.
Yeah,
a lot.
Yeah. Gerard's just being tongue in cheek, but no, but you make a good point. It's like there, especially with how many endpoints we just looked at. There's so many different ways to skin this cat, and you're saying, Cyber, even within these, there's so many things you could do of them. And then once you get into the combinations of kind of how they work together, it's infinite. So just to close this loop for Deus Ex, now I'm super excited to have you, because I know you're debuting something in the next couple months. Can't wait to hear about it. What are the ones that Deus Ex Machina is using in this?
In fact, is the block time.
Okay, so there's block time right there. Okay.
Yeah, you get this number, which is the number of milliseconds, as I told you before. And you have, if you calculate it and compare with the current time, you can, based on that, calculate the speed of the gears and so on.
Oh, is this the current? Is this the current millisecond we're in life right now?
It's the example, but it basically look like this.
Got it.
So it's not from right now, but I don't know from when, but...
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the second one is... 1 second.
It's block height?
Block height. Exactly. So the block number to calculate the halving blocks.
Okay, so that's just for the halving block. So basically, being one of the first tied to the Bitcoin blockchain, there's two elements. We know when the new block comes through. What tells us from this code? Which one tells us that the new block just happened? Is that block height?
Block time.
No, it's a block time, because when the block time is, the current time, then that is the new block.
Oh, I'm sorry. So each of these is the next block. Okay, so these represent a block. I thought they represented like milliseconds.
It represents milliseconds, but when you can compare it to current time, like we have right now some time, and you can compare it to the time when the block was mined, last block.
Okay, so where in here does it say when last block was mined?
No, you need to do a difference. Like you are gonna save. Okay, a new block is coming. Okay, now I have the timestamp. Now you know the difference between that moment and the current moment, and you use that to calculate the
Yeah.
speed.
Got it. And that's block time.
You explained it better. Yeah.
And
Yeah,
then
no, we need to try to repeat it 3 or 4 times. Those things, I sometimes I wonder, like, how many people, not even how many people, how many Deus Ex Machina collectors know 10% of what we are saying here, but imagine in general, like, how many people in Ordinals do really care about that. And when I start thinking about that, I'm like, oh no, I should stop thinking about this, because otherwise you realize that nobody cares and you are the only one who cares. But
no,
yeah,
I think
I don't
there's,
know.
I mean, like Base Chain knows this, Tandem, I mean, Scotch
Of course, there are
Fox,
some
like,
collectors.
right. So you've got collectors, just like you've got, you said some developers are just recycling the same flow fields from like Fidenza, and that's fine, but they're not really pushing the envelope. You have collectors who are like, like when I first get into something, like, where is it? Where's the one I really like? This one. I'm like, that's pretty. I like it. I like Gears. My dad liked Gears. Gears move. And then as we get more into this, well, Stephen Miller says we all care. It's like, Stephen, I hate to break it to you, but you're in our little like 13-person bubble too. Hate to break it to you, but the rest of the world doesn't know shit. Even the rest of the collectors hardly know shit.
What I mean about that
we
is
love
also
them.
it's a problem when you have to talk about the collection, because once you understand that, now you are going to be tempted to post, oh yeah, Deus Ex Machina is great, it's a grail, you should go check it.
Mhm.
And for people that don't go deep enough, they continue seeing this post and are like, oh my god, someone is just shilling their bags again without any reason, because it's so hard to explain all of this once you understand it, but you just want to have more people look at it,
Right.
That's the problem.
Dude, by the way, is Cyber, is this your seal?
Yeah.
I fucking love it, dude. This thing is so bad. And Gerard, I remember you showed me this a while ago.
Yeah.
I remember we weren't even on air, and I was like, I was mesmerized. I love. It's like my son would love this. It's like a kick-ass like tesseract that goes to like infinity and then turns into a spirograph back into a tesseract. I freaking absolutely love it. So
I showed it to CyberSea. I showed it to a lot of people way before we inscribed it. I remember in Amsterdam to Scotch. It's like, okay, guys, who is this? Who is this artist still? Like,
yeah, I need to meet all you. I need to meet all you damn Europeans on your own soil. So like when I'm talking a mile a minute, you'd be like, dude, we're in Europe. Chill. Like, slow down.
Exactly. Yeah.
Like it's like when Americans go to vacation in Mexico and they're on the beach and they're like, I'm here. What should I do? What should I do? Oh, I'm going to drink a beer. Oh, I'm going to go parasailing. And you're like, dude, chill. Time goes slower here. Like, slow it down, dumbass.
Yeah. Every time I go to the US, it's like this movie Time Out, or so, I don't know, maybe Time Out, I think, or In Time. They have like their bank account is time on on their wrists, and they the more time they spend, they can die if they reach to zero. I feel like that every second. It's crazy. Everybody's crazy there. Just come here and we will teach you how to live. No worry, Blue. No worry.
Yeah, Cyber, when we'd finally all retreat or the last guest would leave from the roof deck, the three Europeans would just be like, what the fuck? You Americans are like, I had a good time. You guys are fucking crazy. Like, just like chill out, fucking Americans. So I totally agree. No, but I freaking love your seal. When did you inscribe this? This was 10/31/24.
By the way,
okay, so it was later.
Really, yeah. It was inscribed after Deus Ex, unfortunately.
Okay, wait.
Or
So yeah,
maybe
so
not
this is your
unfortunately.
seal, and then Vivid is a parent, but you do have Oh, this is what you were talking about, Gerard. So then
Yes,
here's
I
a
am.
child,
Yeah,
but it kind of
the
like
cousin.
it cousins. So then the child then links to
Hey, hey, hey. Do you remember the class from yesterday? Let's go. Come on, Blue.
let's go. All
Let's
right.
go. Let's go.
Blues in session. Every time I get on a show, I'm like, I'm gonna ask questions, and now I'm like, wait, why am I the student? What the fuck? Okay, so we just went. So we did for anyone who hasn't watched. Obviously, you all watched it because it was awesome. But full parent child. So we've got in this case CyberSea's parent inscription. I'm gonna walk myself through this, and then Gerard, you're gonna correct me in CyberSea's too. So I've got the parent, but because CyberSea's collection was before kind of parent-child provenance, before it became big. This was inscribed after. So what we do then is that we have a child, a cousin, if you will, that's kind of like a sidecar. So this is going to pop up. So here is the child of the collection. But then, so there's the parent, but then how does it work? Then I have to go to the other parent to then go down?
No. Well, this is the cousin. So you need to go on the SAT because this inscription is the proof of provenance for Deus Ex Machina that's inscribed on the same SAT that has the, the first one here. This algorithm is the parent of the actual Deus Ex Machina collection. So the provenance is not on the same inscription, but it's on the same SAT, which is the same.
Okay. So this is the cool designer, quote unquote, parent, but it's connected because this is the true parent?
Exactly. The real parent of the 400 pieces. And if you go down, you will see the 400 Deus Ex Machinas. Yeah.
So this, but pre-parent child, if you will, this was obviously inscribed before the children because these are true children of this parent.
Yeah, no, parent child existed. The thing is that not a lot of people were inscribing their kind of artist seal to link it. So we did parent child, but the parent of the collection wasn't linked to anything.
Right.
So collectors were happy because, okay, this is a real collection. It has a parent, but for the provenance, it's better to link it to the people that work on there. So that's why it's linked to CyberSea's seal now and Vivid seal to mark the collaboration.
That's so cool.
Exactly.
Honestly, I still, even though I look at charts and do this, like it will sink in one day, but that's how hard that, like, parent child is so awesome. And obviously when you go back, this is the cleanest way to do it. And the beauty is obviously in 150 years, let's say all of X gets lost, YouTube is gone and everything. And people just have to be like, well, what's the relationship here? You can, the key is you can find it, and they'll probably be like, oh, what a clever way. So they probably didn't have it. Cause now we're seeing everybody, now everybody's like top seal, one of ones, PFPs,
Exactly.
like they're it's almost like they're setting up like a full portfolio. Okay.
Now they are all doing this ultra optimized way of organizing things, but of course at the beginning it wasn't that obvious. And well, I don't think that it's really important to have it super well organized because you don't use it for the folders. Like, I don't think that's the main use. The main use case is for the provenance. So what you definitely want is just to have it linked to something that represents you. After that, I don't believe that someone is going to ordinals.com to explore your collections now. Nobody does that. But what you really want to make sure is that it has the provenance.
Right. I mean, I know we talked about it with Casey yesterday. Should we change that? Like, should ordinals.com, or you're saying ordinals.com can be like the source of truth? Really, it's good for different indexers to focus on different things, because there's like, if you favor these three things like charms or teleburn, you always have to make sacrifices. So different.
It's very hard. No, but they definitely need to improve the user experience in Ordinals, and they agreed yesterday. They're just looking for a good team to do that. But it's so hard for people now to do this on Ordinals. To be honest, it's very, very complex, and it's not very intuitive. As you have seen, like, you remember the cousin thing, but you had to go on the SAT. So before you go on the SAT, you don't know, or it's not clear enough that there are different inscriptions on the same SAT. You know what I mean? So you need to check to have the information. It's not that they give you the information and then you check.
Right.
So that's the whole problem for me.
So the missing piece, really, at least for now, to at least make cousins work, is a cleaner connection to be like, go up one, look at the SAT, see if there's a pair there, and then have it more tied into that. So it feels less cousiny and feels more same family-ish, if you will.
Yeah. But even for reinscriptions, like when we first bought our own chain monkey, you get those 4 inscriptions that are on the same SAT. But I remember something, someone talking about it, but otherwise I just couldn't understand what was happening in there. And then you go, okay, I have 4 inscriptions here. What does that mean? And then you go on ordinals.com. Okay, you look that you received the SAT with 4 inscriptions, but it's not clear at all. And I think that very few people are playing with reinscriptions because of that, because people value a lot the inscription, when at the end of the day, what you should value, at least in my opinion, is the SAT. Because on the SAT, you can have 10 inscriptions. So we have this crazy idea. Maybe I'm doing a mistake telling that here, but we would love to have, I don't know, 10 artists participating and create 10 different artworks, but we inscribe all of them on the same SAT. And then you create these 10 collections for the 10 different, these 10 collections on Magic Eden. And then people are going to say, oh my God, I'm going to list this piece very, very low because it's not a famous artist or whatever. And then you have these trading mechanisms where you can just buy collections from somewhere, but you get the 10 inscriptions. So you get all the artworks without even knowing. And I'm sure that people will fall in the trap. I'm sure about it, because nobody checks that.
Interesting. Base Chain's telling you to STFU, but I'm pissed at Base Chain, because that means you guys are having all these conversations without me, and I don't know shit until I get Gerard to spill his beans on air. So Base Chain,
no, it's not true. He doesn't know that. It's just a crazy idea, but the thing is, like,
I like it.
It's always super funny. It's super funny because I can tell whatever I want here. I know that nobody's going to do anything. And
because people are just lazy.
People are just lazy or whatever. You can have the best idea in the world, but it's different from execution, and it's also different from being recognized about that. So yeah, but we will do it one day. Chainception, exactly.
I like that. We're patenting it. Shame on me gets the credit, but sorry, Chain. I mean, we're stealing it. We're patenting it, and we're going to do the greatest collection of all time. Like, to me, if you have 10 on one SAT, like, and then you have the collections below that, it's almost like, is it akin to almost like buying a pack of baseball cards that you can never separate? You know what I mean?
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
So you could have 10 up and coming artists and do this where all 10 are on there, and maybe 8 of them disappear or whatever. Like, I did, it was fun, whatever. And 2 become, freaking the best soccer player in the world. You know what I mean? Like they become these world-renowned artists, and you're like, dude, and that set was totally worth something. I like
exactly.
it.
So what I will do is I will include my collection, my Salamis collection. It will be in the same set. And everybody will be like, oh my God, this salami collection, nobody cares about it. I'm just going to list it for $10. And then there is this huge artist that's linked to the same site. And it's like, oh my God, I just sold my incredible piece for $10. Shit, I should have known more about Ordinals. And that's a lesson for the people out there.
Well, it's almost like you're at the garage sale and you buy the painting, and then you're like, what's this? What's it? And you peel it off. It's like a Picasso or something. Like, I think this is good. I think this is good.
Exactly.
No, but shame on me. Says feel free to use it. You got my credit, Gerard.
Yeah, that would be the name. Change. But the problem is like that's also a problem when you go. You cannot do something like this on Magic Eden. Like, how do you create a collection and how do you show these kind of things on a marketplace? Like, I cannot do a collection of sats. I cannot do a collection where I said, okay, all these pieces are in the same collection because they are on the same sat. Nobody will see the difference. So yeah, I guess that we need to wait a little bit for people to play with these mechanics.
You know what? But it raises a question because CyberSea had the same problem. It's like when you're cutting edge as when you put the marketer hat on, you're like, and you know, because I'm not gonna lie, when I first came across Deus Ex, I remember I was like, I can't even fucking see it, you know, and obviously that wasn't your fault, but it was because it was so cutting edge. Like, I'm not going to lie. Like, I remember everyone telling me like, oh dude, this is so cutting edge. It's so awesome. But I didn't know why. And now I know why. It was like, it couldn't, cause I was like, why do I want to load it? You know what it felt like to me? And there's no shade on you. It's really just being cutting edge. It felt like an old Flash player. I'm like, I got to install Flash to play this one. And that wasn't the case at all. It was so native that Magic Eden just hadn't experienced anything like it. And they didn't know what to do with it until you called and be like, hook it up to the blockchain, make it work, you know?
Yeah, it's so hard to share all this information.
What's that, Cyber?
Yeah, the biggest problem here is, for example, we still not have proper screens to really show that kind of art. Because what we have right now on some exhibition and so on is not really working as it should, because what we are showing is just a recording of some moment of time with, for example, Deus Ex or other on-chain collection, but we cannot really show it in the way like it should be.
It's supposed to be,
because the screen that they are using are just not working. They have not enough power to work with this kind of collection. I even try myself to build.
He knows that he has Phenomena Peace Eternal Tide and the same thing. You know about that.
Yeah. So when
you need to just connect screen to the laptop and then you have it, but it's not the best solution, to have a laptop besides each screen on some exhibition.
So when I got that Gerard, that's a really good point, because I went through all of this when we had a TV over our mantle and it was just whatever, a 55-inch TV. So I bought this Hisense one that was a matted screen. That's the first step. Then I took an HDMI cable, literally hit it in the door jam so you can't see it. And then it goes across the room to the bookshelves. And then the computer is hooked up through HDMI to the bookshelves. And that's how I can display it really well. The problem with yours is it's vertical, but is there, like, if I have the computer set up, is there a good, cause we're looking at this, you've got the big white bars, whereas mine is vertical, horizontal. When it's vertical, doesn't that raise even more problems? Or no, this one's easy to solve?
Honestly, I even prepare my special website just to show my art on some exhibition that have some, collection name. It's switching each piece after, 1 or 2 minutes. It has some information about me as an artist and so on, but people still not really want to use it because they need this internet connection. They need to, connect
they need
the actual laptop.
They need to work, and that's a lot. That's a lot to ask.
But sorry. So with a good laptop, I can, in a good HDMI display, I can get it rolling. But you're saying it's not easy yet, and it's certainly not just baked in. I know we're too early for this, but God, can you imagine having just a frame? You know, because the other problem was for Eternal Tides at least, and I'm sure for Deus Ex, is just the RAM it takes to run this thing. The TV RAM. I finally found a browser that went full screen, and I was so excited, and it was like, you know, it was like a 14-hour cycle because the RAM on those TVs is terrible. You need a computer and the RAM just to be able to pull it off anyway, right?
Yeah,
that's the biggest issue.
Yeah, but I think that we are going to wait a lot of time before having a great solution, and we should work on a kind of a private display. You know, you have at least for Vivid Collection, because it's hard to do it for everything else.
Yeah.
But you go on the Vivid website, you just connect. Oh, there is your wallet. We recognize which collections do you have, and then we have a proper solution display for every collection. I don't see any other solution.
I think you're actually right. I mean, you know, I can build you any app. I just don't know if like Apple TV, like the Amazon Fire Stick certainly wouldn't be powerful enough, but Apple TV, the newer ones may be strong enough, but really you need a laptop for some of these. Like for Eternal Tides, I'll bet you the Apple TV still wouldn't be good enough. I have like a 2-year-old one and it wasn't adequate at all. So I don't know.
Is streaming the way? Yeah.
I can show you one more thing, what I prepare for my exhibition. If you just modify a bit of a link, because it's not really the thing that you can just click on, and just after them you add /exhibit, you will see what I have prepared.
/what?
Exhibit.
Oh,
like exhibition. Yeah.
But the problem is that it's already so much work to do an exhibition that it's super difficult to ask for the organizers to do a specific thing for your specific artwork. Like if everybody has to do that, it's just horrible, you know. So you cannot blame
I totally
the
get that.
exhibition. Yeah, it's so hard.
So what do I do from here? Or this is it?
Yeah,
this is it. This is the idea.
Right.
That,
so on this is awesome. So on my TV, maybe I will stream this because on my TV, you're saying not only do you get the art vertically, because most displays are horizontal, you get you, and then the link I assume is just cybersea.art.
Yeah.
That's really clever. I like this. Yeah, this is cool. This is a cool solution to it because it's clean. I like it. Because people can learn about it too.
In fact, what is interesting, the QR code is targeting the specific piece that is actually shown in that moment.
But what if I have a different piece? Do you have this for every piece?
It changes.
Oh, it changes every few minutes because it's just for exhibition. But if anyone wants it, I can add a function to force specific piece.
Cool! So you could be like exhibit /264 or whatever. Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, exactly like that.
That's a great idea. Like you have to put it. You have to basically put it in your own hands, you know. And like, shame on me asks, is streaming the only way? Like, streaming's great, but then guess who's paying those server costs? You know, so you're basically, every time someone streams, you got to make sure your, Amazon servers have enough, compute power, RAM and all that stuff to serve X amount of people, and, cause obviously we're going to gear up to serve millions here,
Streaming is
so it just changed.
Solution, for some exhibition when you just streaming into screen, but for every collector, it's probably not the best way to solve it. And it also work in a vertical screen, which have totally different layout. You have the bigger piece and all the info is on the bottom and so on.
Right.
So it's also prepared depending what screen you have.
This is so cool, man. Well, Gerard, like CyberSea, like I told you, we're we go wherever we feel like going, but this is great. Like, I love to learn like the innards, but in a roundabout kind of fun way. Like, instead of taking the front door, go through the side door, the chimney, and every which way. Gerard, what is there anything else before we all kind of part ways? We have a great crowd, by the way. Thanks all for showing. And if you have any questions or comments, like, definitely exceeding my expectations. I think we're at like 440 or something. Feel free to ask a question and we'll put it below. But I don't know, Gerard, any other things that we missed?
I just don't want to leave. It's like I enjoy so much these shows. I just want to do one every day now and spend 2 hours here. And it's not too late, but yeah, now of course, I think that we have seen almost everything. I'm super excited about your next drop, CyberSea. To be honest, I think that it's a fucking masterpiece, and to seeing you go that deep into what you just started a year ago, yeah, it's gonna be amazing.
Yeah.
So next time, Blue, we're gonna go deep into his new collection. You'll see.
Got it. So you're saying all
Cannot
those
wait for
questions
that.
I was asking with endpoints and stuff, you're like, get ready. That was your
No,
that was your
exactly.
101. This is like your holy shit. Wait, what?
Exactly. Yeah. No, but I hope, like, I'm so grateful because it's so hard to talk about this, and these kind of shows are really the solution for me, or at least the best solution that we have right now. So thank you so much for doing these kind of things.
Yeah.
I hope that people will really take the time to look at this.
I think they will. And you always made a good point. Cause like, like I said, I mean, 440 people is incredible, but like there's only so many people right now of the subset of Ordinals collectors who are really into the nuance and collect fine art. And obviously Deus Ex is so aesthetically pleasing on a surface level. The beauty as a collection like this can appeal, and as you dig the layers back, you just get more and more into it. But I think honestly, we're definitely achieving those goals because audio spaces are great, but I mean, let's be honest, like if we're talking about art and seeing it, like, and people see, when we're streaming across the screen and see these beautiful colors and stuff, like it just pops so much more. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but that's why I, when I put myself in CyberSea's, for example, if I put myself as an artist and I like imagine all the time and all the effort that someone has to do between the moment where maybe they see this piece in NFT Paris, for example, in 2 weeks, and then they learn all of this and they start sharing it. Like, this is so cool. Yeah. And artists are so grateful when people like you start doing this. That for me is just like the end game. Okay, as an artist, my end game is to be recognized and that people understand my work like this. So that's what we're trying to do. It's hard sometimes on X, but yeah, we will continue that way.
It is. We're streaming on YouTube as well. It's a smaller, people just don't get it over there. And I think YouTube also, probably anything where they see Bitcoin, they're like, they still suppress it. But I suspect with Trump presidency, that's all going to change. Like, I think stuff's going to break open more for sure. Hold on. What is Shame on Me says?
Let's go.
It's a key. Got sick and tired of copy paste, chat, GPT, boosted bullshit, cross 3 lines, and then call it. You got to finish it. I was like, what are you talking about? And call it generative art. Yeah, for sure. I mean, there's so much talent in here. And like, there's cool stuff that is done with AI. Like, I don't want to belittle that. But when I hear, like, the coolest thing about this space, and Gerard's heard me say this a million times, like, you got coders, thinkers, tinkerers, content creators, artists, and traders, even those fucking degens, like, we all have come together and influenced each other in so many different ways. And the stuff that's coming out of it is so beautiful. So AI is a reality. We can't ignore it. But at the same time, like, once you peel back the layers and know that you painstakingly spent a year creating this stuff and the whole engine just to be able to spit these out, like, it's incredible.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Shame on me.
Yeah, absolutely. So Cyber, anything, obviously follow CyberSea NFT on X, which is most of us reside. It sounds like we're all doing a show within, when are we going to reveal some of this stuff? Like in the next month? It's coming up, right?
Yeah.
I think really, really soon.
Oh, okay. All
You
right,
will be surprised how soon.
okay. So next couple of weeks.
Actually,
Perfect.
it's live now on Magic Eden. It was a trap, guys. Let's go. Let's go mint right now. Now that you're all hyped up. You know, Blue always get a lot of FOMO when he does these spaces. So now it would be the great moment to say, okay, Blue, do you want to buy? Do you want to participate in private sale? Let's go.
Dude, I have every frickin' you just hand me those things. Like, come on. I got Sats, I got Eternal Tides. No, but I would definitely this is one, and if your next one's even more end pointy, recursive-y, like I'm in. I'll buy a couple. So super exciting. So it sounds like the three of us are going to be chatting in the next 2 or 3 weeks anyway. So I can't wait to hear about it. So thanks, guys. CyberSea, you wanna finish by saying anything or telling us anything else?
Just enjoy art, I guess.
I love it. All right, guys. Well, great show as always, and I can't wait to learn more about what you're creating. It sounds like you're in the final stages, and I'm here for it. So take care, everybody. CyberSea, thank you, and Gerard, as always, take care.
All right.
Thank you.